Hi, how's everybody doing? My name is MA2, stands for Masquerade Arms. MA2, Elvia Rodriguez. I work with Prior Service. So just kind of tell you a little bit about myself. I am a recruiter here locally in San Antonio. I work with pretty much anybody who was prior service, but also anybody who's interested in actually going into the reserve and they want to be part-time. I can actually direct you to somebody who can assist you as well. So I am here because Miss Barnett had invited me, so I do appreciate you guys inviting me. But unfortunately, the officer who was actually going to be giving the class here for you guys had a family emergency, so it was very last minute. So it would be directed by Chief Warrant Officer 5, Stephen George Charmaine. He is a great point of contact. I will actually make sure you guys have his number, so if you guys have any questions, he can kind of go over, but he was going to give the presentation, so bear with me. I will try to answer as many as I can. But like I said, I just do the recruiting. I just know the bare minimum surface, but I'll go over what he did send me to go over the presentation. But like I said, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, I'm more than happy to direct you, or I can let you know where you can find that information. All right, so one of the things that we're going to go over is like some of the programs that he does and what are the qualifications as far as the officer programs. Then I will follow up with the reserve side on how you guys can follow up also with the part-time on that part. Now, okay, if you guys are looking to go into special warfare, he's the person that does the hiring. It goes in, but I know you guys are more into the IT cyber warfare. Now, he's the one that you will be actually looking forward to working with. And like I said, there are requirements. So if you don't mind, burn it going down a little bit. But like I said, these are just some of the ones that they work with: human resources, engineering, aerospace, aero maintenance, public affairs. Then you got the maritime cyber warfare, sorry, which is acronym MCWO. And that one is pretty much the cloud computing, computer digital forensics, internet security, computer science, engineering, software systems, engineering, information systems, and assurance and machine learning and data science. Now, the other one you have is the cryptology warfare, which is mostly STEM, and it's like the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics degree. But I will let you know also, if you are actually part-time, there's actually outside sources that will actually help you pay for school, especially for STEM, that you can actually apply for and they pay for your school in full. Just so you know, I did not know that until I've actually went out kind of networking. Said, yeah, if you have anybody who is prior service or anybody who is in the process of working, we can actually help them get into the STEMS program. So it's something that you can apply for. But if you guys have questions on that, I can talk to you on the side for that as well. And then anybody who else is on the internet who are that actually wants more information, I'll give you my contact information. I'm sure that Miss Barnett would be more than happy to give that information. And like I said, I will put you into contact with that, well, sorry, with that point of contact.
Yes.
And I'll go up into the requirement for the officer portion. There's the intelligence.
Yes.
So, which is the international relations and language focused political science, history, and STEMs related, prefer AI and ML experience. So those are the main ones, and I think that's what you guys are actually looking forward and going into.
So if cybersecurity, because you talked about it being a very competitive field last time. So another option with their cybersecurity backgrounds could be going into intelligence.
That is correct.
So can you speak, because one of the other ones that we saw recently was a cryptography in warfare.
Which is going to be the 1815.
1815.
Yes, and every single one has to maintain a 3.0 GPA because it is very competitive. If you have a 2.9, they will not accept that. So it's very competitive.
So we have a few jobs. We have the maritime cyber warfare. We have cryptography. We have an information personnel, intelligence.
Yes.
So a few jobs that they could apply for with that bachelor's degree in cybersecurity.
Yes, that is correct.
CWE.
CWE. That one.
CW cryptography warfare.
Warfare engineer.
Engineer.
Yes, they do have that, but I don't believe it has it on here. So I'm just going based off of what the chief warrant officer has. Like I said, if you have information, or sorry, if you have any questions on that, let me know. I'll give you his contact information. I'm sure he can send you some of the stuff that he has on that.
This is what he specializes in.
Yes.
Okay.
And there are other officer recruiters. It's just they're not based here. They're out of Austin, but they work with you and they will actually come down here and meet you as well.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. So I'll go into the criteria now. But does anybody else have any questions on any of the ones that we presented?
Anybody online questions?
Okay. So I know it's very little. I don't have my glasses. All right. So the minimum is going to be a bachelor's degree. It says from an accredited institution is required with a major field of study related to cybersecurity, cloud computing, computing and digital forensics, internet security. So you got computer science, computer engineering, computer programming, software engineering, systems engineering, network operations, network administrations, information security and assurance, information technology, information systems, machine learning, data science is required. Now, another one is an undergraduate, this cumulative grade point average, which is the GPA, which is the 3.0 or greater on a 4.0 scale is required. Civilian work is in information systems and or cybersecurity is valued. For civilian work experience, applicants must include a resume and a minimum of 3 references. So 2 of those 3 references shall be employee related, while the third shall be character reference. So, and then must be able to obtain a TS or a C or SCI. The applicants must be 18 years old or 42 at the time of commissioning. So it says, and waiver beyond 54. So if you're 54, they can get a waiver. So it's not too late.
It's not too late.
Yeah, to consider.
It's not too late.
So
Too late.
prior qualifying services will be considered for a year or it says per year, 4-year credit up to the age of 50. If selected, newly commissioned officers will attend a 5-week officer development course in Newport, Rhode Island.
Oh, they don't even put you in the freezing cold of Chicago.
So then if you guys have any other further information in regards to any of the qualifications and you believe that you meet the qualifications, or if you know of anybody that actually meets those qualifications, you will be reaching out pretty much to Chief Warrant Officer 5, Stephen Darcharmaine. But like I said, he's very knowledgeable and he will actually help you get that. And then you must obtain the TS and the SCI as well. Oh, so basically you're looking at top security clearance. I do apologize on that. So top security clearance, you have to be able to obtain the top security clearance. And there's ways of doing it. So don't think just because let's say you owe payments on something, make sure you can even be the bare minimum. They just want to make sure that you're making the payments because that's one of the major ones that will stop people from applying because like, oh no, I have a lot. No, they just want to make sure that you are making payments and you'd be surprised at, when they do apply that they get that security clearance. All right. Any questions? That one?
No.
Okay. Now let me ask you guys a question. Okay. Going into this field, what made you guys choose this? Anybody?
I'm the only one that. Career change,
Career change? Okay. And what were you doing prior to?
automotive technician.
Okay, so was it something that was always on your mind or just because of, how everything's rapidly developing?
No, I moved here. I needed something else to do. My wife is active duty Army.
Oh, okay, all right, got it. So how does she feel about you actually getting into the cybersecurity and to the IT?
She don't mind. She just need to go to work.
No. She wants to live that country life. Yeah. But yes, so this is like one of the most sought after programs that they do have. And it is very rewarding. I mean, see, I wish I was able to do that. And it's not too late for me, but I will let you know, my son is like, he can build his own computer. So this is something he is actually looking forward to. So nowadays, you see a lot of the generation now, they're very focused because, this is the most rapid one that's going up because if you're looking at the AI, it's developing very quickly. And then anybody else? I'm going to pick on people.
Just call on me.
Okay. So how about you, sir, in the very back? He's like, where? So no, just what made you get into this field?
Just like we mentioned earlier, just the rapid change in technology and how it's going to every industry. And so I feel like in order to keep up with technology and how things are going towards the future, something that I really want to get into and learn.
Okay, no, no. And it's very true. All right, and then how about you, sir?
One, job security for sure.
Okay.
And it's an interesting like field of education just to I guess learn. But what really got me into it was I built my computer before. I built a couple more. And I used to play a lot of like video games and just I guess understanding from the physical components of computers to getting into like the actual running the internet. I just found that pretty interesting. As far as cybersecurity, like I've always heard about like huge companies getting DOSed, and I was like, okay, well, what's that? And it's just like kind of like a domino effect, like got me into it. So yeah.
All right, well, thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. Okay, and then I'm gonna pick on somebody else. How about you, sir? Now, my question to you, yes, sir. I was like, I see with the sailor hat there, sir. I see the anchor. So my question to you is, once you actually obtain your degree, what are your plans career-wise?
Well, I'm actually an instructor here already.
Oh, well, thank you. I shouldn't assume.
I was gonna answer the previous question. I got into it because I wanted to have choices. Most people think I got into it for the money. But no, I wanted to have choices. Anywhere I go, I can get a job because of the choices I made. I'm actually in computer science. So I know that I can move around the country, the world, and my skills will be needed. So, but what was the other question?
Well, you pretty much.
See, I'm one of those. It's too late for me. I'm getting ready to retire in 2 years.
Okay, oh, no, you're.
He ain't going nowhere.
I'm retired. I'm telling you.
No, he ain't going nowhere. We have a question online. I selected this degree because of my work experience at entry-level telecommunications and tech support showed me a glimpse of the rapid need for cybersecurity in all fields.
Yes. And so thank you for sharing. I do appreciate that. And then anybody else want to volunteer online here?
Can you discuss with them? So we've talked about the officer. Can you talk about if they want to just join the reserves? They're not quite sure yet. They kind of want that half in, half out, get the benefits of, that 1 weekend out of the month, 2 weeks out of the year, and they pay for college.
So I will let you know. Okay, so just in case if this is something you're still working on and you kind of just want to get your foot into the door and you kind of just want to just continue to go into school. So the reserves is actually a good place to start, especially because it's kind of you're just doing 1 week in a month. And if you wanted to go active duty, you have that choice. But they also have an opportunity where let's say you're going to classes and you're doing online and you want to go on active duty orders. They have that option too. And you get to choose where you go and for how long. So it can be anywhere from 30 days to 2 years. You can choose overseas or you can choose stateside. So you can even choose to be on a ship or no ship. So a lot of people think, oh, do I have to swim? No, you actually have that choice. But like I said, it's just 1 week in a month and they keep you within 50-mile radius to the closest NOS. So all it just is requires for you to be there for 1 weekend and you do your 2 weeks training. Now, like I said, if you want to get further training, they will actually pay for you to go for further training. And none of this comes out of your pocket. All of it is actually paid through the government while you're on these orders. So it's like you're going active duty. So they're paying for your housing. They're paying, like if you have dependents, they are also added on there. So it's pretty much kind of like you're doing active duty, but you're focusing on school. So they also have programs like that. that will assist you. So even if you want to go active duty, you can actually put in a package to go in active duty once you get everything. So once you also got your foot into the door, you want to go in commission and want to make sure you got that 3.0, you can start working also already with the officer, because I said it's very competitive. You're going to be looked at to anybody else because you're already in, you already did your physical, you're earning everything. So they're like, you know what? They're easier to work with, they're easier to get in. So you're actually going to be on that top tier. So it gives you that option.
Do you have to be physically fit, for example, being super fit?
Actually, not necessarily. However, there is pretty much a height and weight chart and by age. So what you can do is you can Google on Navy you can Google it and just pretty much put down Navy weight and height standards. Let's say if you're within a couple of pounds off or body weight, right? So one of the main requirements for female and male. So for the females, your waist is at least 34 inches. Males is 37. They go based off of that. Anything than that, then you can start working with them. But like I said, if you're willing to put in the work and physical fitness, if you're looking at physical fitness, it's pretty much a 1.5 mile run. You're looking at just doing push-ups. The push-ups, like I said, it's standard for age. So there's criteria for each. I can't give you an exact number. But for myself, I will let you know, all I have to do is complete 20 push-ups. 20 push-ups. That's all I got to do. And then my plank, I just got to do 1.5 minutes of a plank. So that's pretty much the fitness standard.
You said 1.5 miles now?
1.5 miles, yes, sir.
How much time?
Yeah. You actually get a choice to actually do a bike. So if you have any kind of like health issues or anything like that, that may, not help you out while you're doing the run, but they have other options. They have rowing and they also have a bike. So there's alternatives.
Yeah. Way back when I went in. You only had to do 1 mile.
Yes.
So question, so if someone goes in as a reserve, right, officer, can you explain like the healthcare?
Oh, yes.
Benefits, like how does it compare to the duty benefits for like medical, dental, stuff like that?
Oh, yes, not an issue. So when you go active duty, right? So pretty much everything is paid for, in other words. So it's going to be TRICARE Prime. That's what you're looking at. When you go into the reserves, it's TRICARE Prime Select, which is a lot better than civilian healthcare. Civilian healthcare, you're looking at close to $900 to $1,000 just for a family plan. But TRICARE Select covers up to $240 a plan for a whole family. And the copay, so the difference is you do have to make the copay. So you're looking at a copay anywhere that can be anywhere from $35 just from a single visit. And then if it's like a special doctor, it's like $50 copay, but they also have the telehealth care free online. So if you need to call and get medications, you can do that. And it's free because they actually have that on with the TRICARE.
There's
TRICARE Select.
So then,
So,
what about school? Like if my daughter has a master's and she goes into the reserves, will the Navy pay for her to go through master's program while she's on reserve, or got to be active?
No, actually, you can do both. So let's say she does the reserves, right? So she gets her foot into the door. But the thing is, like, she can actually go into an officer's program just depending on what her bachelor's is, and she's also work experience also. But let's say if she doesn't got the work experience but wants to kind of get her foot into the door, she'll go through the whole thing as far as going through boot camp. So yes, she will be actually going through boot camp. But once she's completed with boot camp, it will require for her a school. But it depends on the job, because the job may require just on-the-job training. You do your on-job training with the Reserve Center. But if it is a school, they will go to A school. So A school, depending, like I said, it can be lengthy. It can be up to 52 weeks. Just depends, once again, on what they're actually going for the job. So once she completes that, she will return back to civilian life, and then just that 1 week in a month, she'll be doing that. And then when she does, like I said, she does get back in, she can actually just start, going, applying for the job, start working towards it, and start actually accumulating all her paperwork that she needs in order for her to go get her package in for officer. She'll be working with an officer's program when she's doing it.
so my son's doing the same program, but he is enlisted in the Navy. He has college, but it's not work experience in his college. So he is gaining work experience while he's enlisted now, he's in Florida. He's getting his work experience in the Navy and he's going to start going to school full time. They're sending him home for 4 years to finish his degree.
Mhm.
And then he does have to extend his sign up
Right.
because he paused his active duty. But once he finishes school, because of the time that he has gained on the job, he will then bridge into the officership program. And he's an airman.
So my scenario is that she finished college last May.
Yes.
She already had a master's. So I'm trying to get her to go into anyone but the Marines. Oh, people like me.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and she's kind of iffy about it. I'm trying to entice her to this particular program.
Well,
So,
what's the minimum sign up for reserves
So the age requirement is gonna be 42. So
Yep.
cut off at,
as far as like service time?
oh, so as long as you are actually within, you can actually retire at the age of 60. So if you can do your 20 and 60 years, or sorry, by the time you're 60, you'll be good.
So if she signs up, does she have a 2-year commitment, 4-year commitment in the reserves? How long is the
So-
commitment length?
Oh, okay. So when they first enter, so they are committed to 8 years. 8 years. However, well, say, however, it will be 4 years basically that they will be doing reserves. So which means it's just 1 week in a month. They're still here on civilian side. They're still here in the state of Texas, unless she chooses that she wants to pick up some orders to go. Like I said, it's called mobilization. It's not deployment. And you are you are literally with 2 years, you are deferred from any deployment at all because you're going to school or because you volunteer to go into the program. So that's what they have. Now, with those 4 years, it's just you're doing that. And then those other 4 years is going to be called IRR, which is inactive ready reserves, which means you're still in the reserves, but you do not have to show up that 1 week in a month. You're just like required once a year to show up for a muster, and that's it. Make sure that, hey, you know what, you're good to go. And you have that till those 4 years until that contract.
But on the plus side, you get paid every month, right?
Mhm.
You get a paycheck every month. You get insurance every month. They pay for school. And she's got to show up 1 week another month, 2 weeks out of the year.
So they are eligible, they are eligible for what they call a tuition assistance program, which they do have. They also have a actual program, which is actually online, and she can actually get more certifications that way. It's free. It's called mynavycollege.com, and it gives them a whole bunch, especially in cybersecurity.
Mhm.
There's a whole bunch of them. And then also on top of that, so since I know you mentioned she's actually working towards her master's, there's actually programs that will help her pay for her master's without having to use her GI Bill, especially because she listed here in Texas. Hazel would be also offered. You're looking at the yellow ribbon, which is also offered, but there's other scholarships and everything that a lot of people don't know about that they offer the opportunity for anybody who's actually been enlisted, anybody that's in the service, even reserves. This is for everybody. That they just got to apply. The only reason why they have not gotten that information out is because they don't have access to a lot of the military personnel, and a lot of times they don't have the funding to go out there and educate. So that's why they utilize us now to kind of let you guys know, hey, this is what is available. So they do have a tuition assistance program that will help them pay for that school. And the same thing, if you're looking to get your doctorates, they are willing to help you pay for your doctorates as well, without having to get into any of the other ones. So if she wanted to pass on her GI Bill to the kids or to any or spouse or partner, they have that as well. I hope I answered that question. Okay, all right. Anybody online?
Any questions online about officer, recruit, or reserve? No questions? Okay, we're gonna watch a few videos to show kind of a highlight of what the Navy jobs are.
Oh, and I would like to cover one more thing also.
Okay.
So if you actually do the reserves and you go officer, right? So there's a thing where you can actually double dip through your civilian job and also through the military. So if you pick up active duty orders, you can find something here in San Antonio. Cybersecurity is all over. You'd be surprised. You do that, and let's say like you look for your job, you get with your HR, look at the policy. Do they pay your full salary while you're actually on orders? So you give them the orders, getting paid by both at the same time. So a lot of them will do that. So it's extra money in your pocket.
The United States Navy is at risk. Right now, this very minute. Wave after wave of unwanted intrusions, capable of striking anywhere on the planet, including right here at home. The probes are invisible, but they could potentially cripple our forces with as much devastation as any bomb or missile. This is all occurring in cyberspace, the worldwide domain where communications, intelligence gathering, kinetic operations, logistics, and command and control can be threatened at network speed. But the U.S. Navy stands ready to repel this threat and to maintain superiority in this new operational domain. The cyber warriors of U.S. Fleet Cyber Command and U.S. 10th Fleet help operate and assure the security of Navy networks around the world, providing powerful cyber capabilities necessary for warfighting superiority across the full spectrum of military operations. Any entity with access to the internet can operate in cyberspace, including criminals, terrorists, hacktivists, and nations large and small. As vast as the internet has become, cyberspace is even larger, with virtually all commerce and communications passing through electronic networks. From GPS systems to wireless phones, credit card scanners to automatic climate control systems, and the U.S. power grid, all are vulnerable to cyber attack, and so is our military. Each day, the Department of Defense alone receives 6 million probes. The traditional operational domains of maritime, land, air, and space have definite boundaries that separate one from the other. But a fifth operational domain, cyberspace, crosses all domains. Cyberspace is where the battles of the future will be won or lost. 10th Fleet is no stranger to unconventional missions. In World War II, submarines were the new menace, changing the very conventions of naval combat. 10th Fleet was formed to counter that threat, unifying intelligence and operations in one command for the first time. Today's 10th Fleet continues that tradition. The Chief of Naval Operations established U.S. Fleet Cyber Command and recommissioned U.S. 10th Fleet as the Navy's central operational authority for cyber, electronic warfare, networks, cryptology, signals intelligence, and information operations. This represents a landmark transition in the evolution of naval warfare, bringing information to the forefront of the Navy's 21st century arsenal. Almost every operation on board a naval vessel functions in cyberspace. It is the primary medium for Navy command and control, communications, computer, combat systems, and intelligence capabilities. All these systems must function effectively, even in the face of degradation or outright attack. That's the job of U.S. Fleet Cyber Command and U.S. 10th Fleet. To assure command and control, the Navy must maintain dynamic situational awareness. This is constant and total awareness in real time of the state of our networks and communications capabilities.
I'm seeing a drop in capacity centered in the typhoon off Japan. We need to reroute our traffic until we can make sure it's reliable.
An extension of dynamic situational awareness is dynamic network defense, the ability to proactively counter intrusions or hostile acts against our networks before they disrupt our operations, and to seamlessly maintain continuity of command and control.
Battle Watch, Captain. I'm detecting a large amount of traffic flowing into the 5th Fleet MOC.
Sir, our network sensor grid is indicating a malicious signature there as well. I believe they're probing our premise router and are getting ready to launch a denial of service attack.
Block an incoming source IP address and have intel pass it to US Cybercom J2.
Yes, sir. Sir, we got him.
Good work.
Dynamic network defense and situational awareness are necessary to enable 10th Fleet's third responsibility, full spectrum cyberspace operations. This refers to a wide range of non-kinetic effects that can be used independently or to complement kinetic actions. Cyberspace operations can be as effective as a bomb or missile, but can be conducted from virtually anywhere on the planet, in real time. The sailors of 10th Fleet are cyber warriors, conducting operations in a critical modern domain. They're a force multiplier for both kinetic and non-kinetic naval operations, delivering timely, mission-critical information and capabilities to our commanders and operating forces worldwide.
Cybersecurity is every sailor's responsibility. One sailor from Space and Naval Warfare Systems Center Pacific is on the forefront of the fight.
The work that we do on the C4I help desk as well as the fleet support office, we play a vital role directly supporting the warfighter. We're embedded. The military is a small portion embedded into a much larger community with thousands of civilian experts, and they're pretty much the Navy's brain trust. No
Sorry guys, I'm trying to do full screen and it don't want a full screen.
system is without risk, but we are here to mitigate those risks as much as possible. So that's why we stress the importance of cybersecurity.
Okay. So do we have any follow-up questions? Anybody have any questions overall that they're particularly interested in?
Cryptology section, results intelligence. What are advanced mathematics or sciences that might be needed?
So I wish I could give you a direct answer on that one.
What's on here?
No, but yes, so they're actually, hold on, should be on the information right?
Yeah, it says calculus 1 and 2, calculus-based physics.
So yeah, it'll like mention, I do appreciate it, calculus 1 and calculus 2.
That's the same as the OPM requirements for civil service as well. So when you're going to enlist or civil service, you do need to keep those items in mind. Thank you.
So for this information professional officer, the requirement in the curriculum is calculus 1, 2, physics 1, and 2. Those classes are not in our curriculum for the bachelor program. Or can we get a waiver for that? Or they wanted us in that job?
So if it's not, there's a good chance that they can, but that's something you would have to actually speak with the officer, depending on especially like what you have on your background.
Okay.
So like I said, it's workable, but like I said, it's case by case. So it will be case by case.
So they do review the actual transcript to see
Yes.
what class it is.
So they
You
may
have
be able to
taken.
kind of do, like I said, they may be able to do some adjustment, but like I said, it's case by case.
Okay.
And then I would like to also let you guys know also, so I should just kind of break it down now. When I did mention earlier, I kind of just remembered that those who are actually like going for just the reserves as like enlisted, you're looking to get up to 60. Now officer is different, so you can go in until the age of 56 and but like I said, it's different. So they have a retirement standard, just to kind of go over that. And I do want to let you know, if you do go enlisted for the reserves, it's called the NAP program, which like I said, you're still here. We pretty much work for people who are going to school or anybody who's working and still kind of wants opportunity and still get the benefits. But at the same time, they have, especially for right now for cybersecurity or information or intelligence, there is a $20,000 bonus for 3 years of your service. And the rest of it, like I said, you can just request to go IRR, which is in an active ready reserve, and you just show up for that 1 muster a month. So the way that works is you finish, you go to school, and you go in for, which is like cybersecurity technician, that you go for the school, but you're also still working towards getting into your bachelor's degree program, but you already got yourself a $20,000 bonus. Some of it goes even more. So sometimes you just gotta check, sometimes it can be $150,000 bonus. But they're really, like I said, they're really working on that. So if you guys have any questions or if any of you guys are interested, I will put out my information. And then I'll just see me on the side and then I'll take your information and then I can direct you to somebody who can give you more answers. Yeah.
May I ask you a question after this?
Yes, no, it's perfect. Like if you need to ask me on the side, that's fine.
And to talk